Okay, so Cryptid Court, this is where we debate the existence of a cryptid. And the way we choose the cryptid is we put a poll up on the main YouTube channel. And there's 3 randomly generated cryptids, and people vote on what cryptid they want us to debate. And this week, in a surprising turn of events, we're going to be debating a lake monster. Whoa. So this is probably the 5th time.
Yeah.
But this is one I've actually heard of before.
Yeah, it might be the Holy Grail, one of the Holy Grails of lake monsters.
Yeah, after, I guess probably Nessie is the most famous, but after her, maybe this one is the most popular. And we are talking about Champ. Do you want to introduce who Champ is?
Okay. So Champ is a lake monster said to live in Lake Champlain, which is a 125-mile or 201-kilometer long body of fresh water shared by New York, Vermont, and Quebec, Canada. So this monster has been seen for ages, like pretty much ever since humans have lived around the lake, they have been seeing Champ. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So just to make it clear, today I guess Mika will be on the pro side, arguing that Champ could be real, and I'll be arguing against the existence of Champ. So do you want to make an argument first, or shall I?
Okay. So I just want to again point out the long body of evidence, like how much evidence there is. The indigenous people of the area have long lived and hunted near Lake Champlain. The Abenaki and the Iroquois. They have their own legends about a large creature inhabiting the lake, which looked like a large horned serpent or a giant snake. And then when people from Europe started settling there, they also started seeing it as well. By 1992, there were 180 sightings. Approximately 600 people had claimed to have seen Champ all over the lake. As of today, as far as I can tell, there are about 300 sightings. Yeah, so that's my first point, is just that it's been seen consistently for hundreds of years, if not thousands.
Okay. Should I try and go in with a counterpoint?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that it's not some big fish like a gar or a sturgeon that also inhabits the lake?
Well, maybe it is. Well, first of all, it could be a really big one. Or there were some sightings that were like much longer than a typical gar or sturgeon, which I think merits it being its own creature because it's way too big.
It is way too big.
So, like, maybe it is a fish, but it's a really big fish. But either way, it's not exactly the same description as a gar or a sturgeon.
Yeah. But I think when it comes to something like a lake monster, there's probably not one explanation. There's probably like multiple. Like maybe some people saw a gar, some people saw a sturgeon, some people saw a floating log, some people saw some other phenomena or something. And because they're primed to think that there's a lake monster in a lake, they attribute it to Champ. And just on the thing of size, I just want to mention that did you hear about the 1813 sighting by Captain Crumb?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
He said it was 57 meters long.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's probably way too big.
Yeah, I think he made maybe a mistake there. But let's see. More points. This is one of the most famous cryptids in the world. And there are a lot of people who don't deny its existence and in fact make policy and statements confirming its existence. So Champ is protected by law on both sides of the lake. I believe like all places where it is, Canada, New York, and Vermont. So that means it's illegal to hunt and kill Champ. So if there's a law, I mean, that's a bit validating, don't you think?
Not particularly, no.
Another thing is, it's one of the most commonly, I guess, agreed upon cryptids to exist by cryptozoologists. Like,
really?
Well, that's what this one guy said, who has been studying them for his whole life. He's been studying Champ for his whole life. And there's even a scientific name for it. Bellua aquatica champlainiensis. So, I think that if there's so much overwhelming evidence that even the government has to take a stand, that's something.
That's all interesting, but none of it sounds like evidence to me. I don't know. I mean, the Nepalese government took a stand on the Yeti. Do you think the Yeti is real?
Could be.
Okay, I just don't think that's really evidence, though. That seems like more of a like fail safe. Like, okay, if there happens to be something in here, then don't kill it because it's probably rare. But I don't think that proves that it exists. I mean, that law is probably based off of sightings, and sightings aren't really evidence.
Well, it proves that there's enough evidence to make that law.
I don't know. I think it proves that there's enough public opinion or...
Well, the opinion has to come from somewhere. I'm saying that
but...
it proves that this is something substantial to look into. It's not just a little gimmick. It's like, it's a big deal.
I feel like it maybe is a bit of a gimmick though, because isn't it like a massive tourist thing now? Like I saw many like shops and restaurants were like named Champ, and there's like boat tours to try and see Champ and stuff.
I guess so, but there are also boat tours to see whales, and are you saying whales are fake?
No, because if you go on many people who go on whale tours actually see and photograph and video whales.
On the boat tour to see Champ, so.
Okay, well, where are the photos and videos then?
Well, according to the, I forgot the name of the people who saw him, but they took a video and they were saying that he was really camera shy and it was hard. He likes to stay just under the water where it's very difficult to photograph. So.
I don't know, man. I've seen like 2 or 3 different videos allegedly of Champ. One was an elephant seal, one was a deer swimming across the river, and the other one you couldn't even tell what it was. It could have just been like a fish.
Champ is camera shy. It's going to be difficult to get a picture unless you go in full scuba gear and a waterproof, really good camera.
What is Champ? What animal is he?
Well, no one knows, do they? Here are some theories.
It's real. What is it? I don't know.
Here are some theories. One, which I don't think discounts the cryptid factor, could be a very large fish such as a gar or
sturgeon.
A sturgeon. 2, some people think it could be a plesiosaur that survived the extinction of all other plesiosaurs.
How did it do that?
Well, it just happened to survive by being very good at living. Thirdly, I did find this intriguing. There were sounds recorded from within the lake by the Fauna Communications Research Institute in 2003 for part of a Discovery Channel program. The sounds were similar to those produced by beluga whales or dolphins, and those do not live in Lake Champlain. So, where did the sound come from? You can conclude that there's something in there making a sound. And I was thinking, and a third theory could be that it is some kind of marine, like, mammal.
I have heard that. I've heard some people say beluga whale, and I've heard some people say surviving basilosaur.
Because there are fossils. They did find a fossil of a beluga whale in a lake before, which proves that they were there before. So maybe they have evolved and they're not exactly the same as beluga whales now. But
wouldn't a beluga whale have to surface a lot for oxygen?
Yeah. So then it comes up and then it goes back down again.
Okay, but wouldn't that make it a little easier to find?
Well, that's how people often find it, was when it comes up. They just can't take a picture because they're all very bad at taking pictures. I'm just saying, the third theory could be some sort of marine animal that makes underwater sounds. Marine mammal, I mean.
Maybe.
Anything else?
I guess you're... what else can I say? I just wanted to say earlier, you said the thing about like the natives had a legend and then like Westerners had the same idea or something. But I feel like we have that with a lot of lake monsters, and it's not really the same legend. It's like they sort of converge and people say that they were the same thing, even though they weren't. I guess you don't want to talk about the photo from 1977?
We can talk about the photo from 1977.
Well, you didn't bring it up as evidence, so I presume you're just going to say that it's not evidence then?
I never said it wasn't evidence. Go ahead and bring it up.
Well, do you think it's an authentic photo of a creature?
Look, you're always saying dates and things.
The Sandra Mansi photo. It's the like most famous photo of Champ, where it looks like a plesiosaur.
So, I saw another video talking about this and how that part of the lake is too shallow to support a creature the size that everyone is saying Champ is. However, the video I saw had a theory that it's not entirely true that this animal would be beached at that depth. Perhaps, like many marine animals, it is sunbathing, it is basking in the sun at a shallow depth with its limbs resting on the bottom. So, I want to say that just because an area is shallow, too shallow for the animal to swim without getting beached, doesn't mean it wouldn't be there of its own volition, trying to warm up.
Yeah, well, I think the photo itself is pretty dubious. So Sandra Mansi took one photo, only one, of this huge creature, and then apparently left. She apparently lost the negative, or that's what she said, but then her husband said no, they burned the negative because it had bad memories. She also
What?
didn't... Yeah, apparently they were like scared of it or something. She also didn't... She took the photo in 1977, but she didn't show it to anyone until 1981, and she claimed that's because she lost it. Then other stories, they claim that they hung it up in their house for people to look at. She also said she couldn't remember where it was taken at first, even though she was like a native to the area. One of the Champ investigators, so a cryptozoologist who believed in Champ, said she was obsessed with profiting from the photo. There was a quote where she said the skin had bark-like texture. I don't know. I think when you look at it first, it's like, oh wow, that's a pretty clear and cool looking image. But I think it could very easily just be like a piece of a tree trunk or something.
Yeah, I think that picture in particular could be a log. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So in conclusion,
Anything else to say?
I don't know.
It's like, because we're sort of burned out on lake monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're probably going to just try and take a break from lake monsters for a while.
Well, I keep trying to, but this is, I follow the generator.
Yeah. I think next time, even if a lake monster comes up in the generator, we'll just re-choose that option.
Oh, here's some news about Champ, though. There's a feature dramatic film coming out, Lucy and the Lake Monster, about a young orphan girl and her grandfather looking for Champ. It's in post-production now, and it should come out on streaming later this year.
Is Ted Danson in it?
I don't think so.
No, that's a shame.
So maybe if we watch that movie, we'll finally get some answers. Because they filmed in the area, I think.
Maybe.
However, it is a fictional film, so maybe not.
All right. I don't know. I guess we could move on unless you have anything you want to close on.
No, I just think that some evidence is very interesting, especially the sound recordings. Like, I really want to know what made those.
That is the most interesting piece of evidence I've heard, actually.
And it could just be like some weird big fish. But we have to get to the bottom of what's making those sounds. That's what I would say. And if you have any thoughts on this, or if you've seen Champ, please let us know. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for full episodes, or download the MP3 from the links below.